If you did not cry by the end of this movie, congratulations, you're just a soulless demon. Elvis. So Elvis is a biopic about the life of Elvis Presley. This guy needs no introduction. I mean, for God's sakes, the guy's music and his face are legendary. But this movie stars Tom Hanks and Austin Butler. And let me just say, they both absolutely killed it in these roles. Tom Hanks is pretty much a given. I mean, it's Tom Hanks. He's pretty much great no matter what you put him in. But the standout is definitely Austin Butler as Elvis Presley. And the crazy thing is, while I was watching this movie, I forgot for a bit that I was actually looking at an actor. Austin Butler is Elvis Presley about as much as Harrison Ford is Han Solo. Like, dude, I swear to God, he is Elvis. I mean, he moves like him. He talks like him. Every little tiny detail about him screams Elvis Presley. I'm telling you guys right now, if this guy does not get an Oscar for his portrayal in this movie, I'm going to shit bricks. I swear to God. I mean, holy God, dude. He brought his A game through the entire film. Like, they couldn't have picked a better guy for the role. He was absolutely awesome. Speaking of awesome, I already touched on Tom Hanks a bit. And I feel like this is kind of where I need to start talking about the plot of the film. But the thing is, this being a biopic, there's really only so much I can talk about in terms of story. Because this is the story of Elvis. This is his life, his legacy. And I feel like it's told in a very unique way. So if you guys don't know, when Elvis finally passed away, there was this huge lawsuit against his ex-manager, Colonel Tom Parker, I believe is his name. But at the time, a lot of people blamed him for the death of Elvis. And that's who Tom Hanks' character is. He is that same guy, but he's narrating the whole film. You know, the villain is the hero of their own story kind of thing. And I have to believe that what this movie shows me is the truth. And if it's true, this guy was a pompous scumbag if I've ever seen one. Just leeching and preying off this man's health, his sanity, and his money. And I gotta give the movie mad props because as much as it shows us about Elvis and who he was, it also shows us who Tom Parker was, and he was just not a great guy. This guy was a total snake, and Tom Hanks really brings that to the forward front. He did really great. Like, I didn't think it was possible for Tom Hanks to play an asshole, but he did really good here. 50% of Elvis's earnings. That's how much Colonel Tom Parker got from Elvis. And you know, as great as Austin Butler and Tom Hanks are in this movie, the visuals and the cinematography make this movie. This is a very well put together and beautiful film. You just feel that with every shot, camera movement, and every color that is on screen. Like, they set out to make this the definitive Elvis experience, and they succeeded. And the music and the score in this movie is just the chef's kiss. Like, oh my God. Like, dude, you can't make an Elvis movie without a kick-ass soundtrack, and this movie has a kick-ass soundtrack. And I think what I love most about this movie is it's not just a biopic about Elvis's life, but it's also very much a cautionary tale in its own right. A cautionary tale about letting the fame and fortune just change you as a person. And we see a lot of that happen in this movie, more than I thought we would get to see. Elvis is one of the greatest musicians in the history of mankind, and this movie gave me a lot of information about him that even I didn't know. Apparently, there were a lot of aspects about his career that made him struggle greatly, and it cost him a lot during his life. His relationship with his wife, his struggle with drug addiction, I mean, you get to see a very flawed man. And you could make the argument that those flaws were really brought on by the lifestyle that he lived. I appreciated the fact that we got to see the man behind the legend, because at the end of the day, while he is a legend, he's still very much just a man. And like every man, they fall and fail, but always find a way to pull themselves back up. Elvis was just a guy that wanted to share his love for music with the rest of the world. He didn't care about the color of people's skin or people's genders. He just wanted to make other people happy. And I feel like that's why he's so well remembered. It's not just because of his music, but it's because of who he was as a human being. His love for music and people just defined him so much. It's very incredible how much of that we got to see. And people fought him. Like, people didn't like him or his music. They thought he was just a fucking heathen, but he didn't care. And this was during a time where racial tensions and racial politics were pretty much at their peak. You know, I appreciate the story that this movie had to tell because, to me, it resonates with me on a very personal level. You know, you guys would be surprised how often I ask myself about whether or not, you know, when I start making films one day, is the fame and fortune and the money going to fundamentally change me as a human being? Guys, Elvis is a cinematic experience to behold. Not just a great biopic about one of the most legendary musicians in the history of mankind, but just a great celebration of his life and who he was as a human being. It's a cinematic masterpiece and a cautionary tale about not letting fame and fortune corrupt you to your core. I mean, I'll be honest, guys, I'm going to find a spot for this movie on my top 10 list at the end of the year. Hell, it might even appear in my top 5, and the reason for that is Elvis is just simply a gift from the gods. Alright, but thank you guys so much for watching. Drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe if you're new, and I really hope you guys enjoyed my review for Elvis. This was very different. I'll go ahead and tell you, my next review will be on Minions: The Rise of Gru. I have a screening for that Friday, but the review should post sometime next week, so keep an eye out for that. And thank you guys so much for watching. Drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe if you're new. And as always, I'm the Unbiased Movie Nerd. I'm saying peace, and I'll see you guys in the next review. Peace out, everybody.